did a 10-hit combo. This dude's doing straights. Wow. This motherfucker is garbage!
Now I gotta pull up. Everybody dying, me included. I ain't going to jail.
Welcome to the How To series, where we'll be delving into the characters of My Hero Ultra Rumble, and offer solid advice to new or intermediate players. Honestly, I appreciate a shit ton for the support on the Cementoss video, and I may honestly do this as a fun series depending on if I still want to play this fucking game. I picked Todoroki today since he was my first main, due to how simple yet effective his gameplay is of just spamming shit and hopping it works. Anyways, let's get started. Shoto is part of the Strike class, offering your team an additional 10% damage boost to help out elims. This honestly has no flaws whatsoever and is a fantastic aid to the team for just simply existing. Now let's move on to his abilities. His MHA consists of shooting fireballs that travel slower than Joe Biden squabbling with his own 2 feet, resulting in dogshit range. But he has a fuck ton in his capacity compared to other projectile abilities. With a whole 8 loaded in, he can shoot out more louds than any Rule 34 of him could, and he recharges them insanely fast with only a 1-second recharge. However, you must be stationed for over 2 seconds of not shooting in order for the recharge cycle to start. Another great advantage is he barely suffers any drawbacks to using them all out, as he always reloads them in just 7 seconds. This makes his projectile very beginner friendly and a great choice to casually switch your mind off and fuck people sideways. The size of his fire bullets scale with level 4 and 9, making it more accurate on the later levels. With this shit ton of damage he produces, mixed with the fire effect he has with them, makes his alpha dangerous to any silly fucker who thinks they could solo you. His beta is an ice wall that knocks back any opponents hit by it, and it lasts for 15 seconds every time. However, this wall has some god-awful registration, and I have died so many fucking times due to enemies somehow hitting me despite the ice being halfway through their rectum. Despite this, his wall can do insane damage if landed, not to mention it's almost instant, making it a great defensive tool and aggro tool. Shoto is also able to shoot through his walls, and even use his gamma through the wall and hit opponents, making it an effective camping tool if you ever enjoyed being that gremlin from Overwatch that always used the Bastion plus Reinhardt combo. Despite the benefits of his wall, it's unfortunately his worst ability as the range is shit. Landing it is difficult even at max level, and everyone hides to cover once it's up, or they simply maneuver over to your side and shred you. That's if you're alone, but you would have a team beside you, so it should be safe most of the time. Okay, so apparently they buffed him while I'm literally making this video, and they gave him 2 walls, and his walls are supposedly bigger than what I was discussing about. They're a lot more easier to hit opponents, and having 2 means he can circle himself if he ever needs time alone. His gamma summons ice below his feet and freezes his opponents for a whole 2 seconds. This allows for fantastic combos with other characters, like the cocksucker that gives you a bear hug. However, this ability relies on if you use the left stick. Moving the left stick at all will result in Shoto sliding on the ground, and this cannot be stopped. Anyone hit by the slide will still be frozen, allowing you to turn around and hit a few fireballs at their ass, but you're incredibly vulnerable due to not having much control with where you can rotate. Not to mention you need to shove your dick in their mouth in order to hit them with the ice. However, this is Todoroki's only way of having solid mobility, so it's best used when fleeing a fight, or when you just need to travel across the map a little quicker. However, in a fight the best use of this ability is to simply stop moving and use the gamma, sending ice forward and freeing anyone hit by it. It's far more accurate and faster than the slide, with the addition of having less risk of getting anally pounded as you don't need to be in their face. The ice also lasts for a second, which can be great for locking places in control and improves the accuracy of the move in general. Lastly, his special action is a small ring of fire that does 10 damage if anyone gets hit by it. 10 fucking damage. Honestly, I won't blame you for not using it that often, because it's one of the worst actions in the entire game. The only real use I could see is applying it on top of a wall, or throwing it on top of a downed opponent and watch as they sob in a corner as they watch you burn them. At that point, just use his alpha. Seriously, I hope they buff it to at least 20 damage, but for now it still remains as garbage. In terms of strengths, Todoroki has some insane damage with his alpha and is a very beginner friendly character with a smooth skill ceiling. His ice is incredibly fun to stun opponents, and can shred anyone once they're caught in it. Todoroki is very flexible, being suited in many environments and being one of the few characters to benefit off of the open fields due to his walls and freezing. With this many benefits, he unfortunately suffers a shit ton from his lack of mobility. This honestly hurts him so much harder than it should, as this makes his advantages really crumble as he can't properly catch up with any opponents that may flee, and he struggles at avoiding damage from literally anything. But because he doesn't have long-range capabilities, mid-range is his best way of gaining KOs, but many characters can ruin this by closing into him in a blink of an eye. It's a shame, because Shoto is a fan favorite for many, yet nobody in this game ever fucking plays him because of his really bad weaknesses. If you can recall what I said earlier, Shoto is a very easy character, which also makes any tips for him self-explanatory. The most optimal setup I have for Shoto is leveling his alpha up to 4, then his gamma up to 4, switch back to his alpha up to level 9 and repeat for his gamma, then lastly level up his beta. Speed cards could help with how slow his mobility is, and of course green cards can help him out. Thanks to this guide, you may now give birth to some beautiful KOs, and fire out triplets after grinding the game for a long 9 months. Thanks for watching.